I will be your host for the day here. We're going to just go over a few things about our day at the Capitol. But before we jump in, since we have only about 14 participants, which is still a really great number, I'd love to just go around and ask each of you to introduce yourselves, as you will most likely be bumping into each other at the day at the Capitol. And please let me know if you have been to a day at the Capitol, or if you've done some type of visit like this to Pierre before, or if this is your first time. And I know that we have a mixture of both. But again, I know this is a little different than our other trainings, but I'm just gonna pick on you and call you out here. Feel free to come onto video if you would like. It'd be great to see your smiling faces. And we'll just get going here. Lucy, you can go ahead and pull us all up on screen and take the slideshow down if you could. That would be wonderful. We're going to start with, well, I should say, I was terrified. I will say, my first time doing this, going to a day at the Capitol, I believe I was about 24 maybe, something like that. And I was absolutely terrified, but I had some amazing people that helped me through it. And that's what I'm hoping we'll do today with anyone who is a first timer at this, make you feel as comfortable as possible. And I want you to feel open to asking any questions. My dog is also having a little bit of a panic attack in the back. So if you hear that, I apologize. All right, so with that, we're going to start with Tom. Tom Holmes, would you mind introducing yourself and then letting us know if this is your first time, or if, and obviously I know the answer to that question, but go ahead, Tom.
Good afternoon for me, because I'm East River. Good afternoon, folks. My name is Tom Holmes. I taught in the Sioux Falls Public Schools for a long time, and then I retired several years ago and ran for the legislature and was successful. And while in the legislature, I got involved with birth to three and other children's issues. I even got involved with human trafficking and all of that. And as a result of that, I've become a passionate believer that we need a voluntary state-funded preschool system. So I'm a stakeholder in this group. I'm not in the legislature anymore, but I want to do whatever I can to help the cause here. So I've always admired Kayla and respected her leadership abilities, and so it's an honor for me to be a part of this group.
Well, thank you, Tom. Much appreciated, and we're glad to have you there. Mark, we'll go to you next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Klein. I'm from the Club for Boys from Rapid City, South Dakota, so good morning. I've been associated with kids my entire career, so 33 years, and I recognize that education is crucial to self-worth and success later on in life. So that's why I'm part of this. I'm also with the South Dakota School Age Care Alliance, SACA. So we work with professionals and after school and out of school time programs to provide some guidance and training and things to help when kids start school. Glad to be on the meeting, and yeah, glad to be a part of this.
Thanks, Mark, so much. Glad you're here. Nicole, we'll go to you.
Hi guys, I'm Nicole Weiss. I work at the Y for the last about 14 years and have been in early learning for 17 years. This is my first time going to the day at the Capitol, and I am nervous. So here we go.
You'll do great, Nicole. No worries at all. We're happy to have you coming with us. Kim, why don't you go ahead and go next?
Hi, I'm Kim Booth, and I have worked in the early childhood field my entire adult life, and have advocated for quality programs, but this will be my first time at the Children's Day at the Capitol in Pierre. I went to a similar one in Phoenix a while back, so looking forward to it.
Thank you, Kim. And I realize we have a second Kim. Second Kim. I'm sorry, because I don't know what your last name is. Are you?
This is Kim Lieberman from Pierre, and I'm mostly listening today. I've been to a early learning at the Capitol before, and it was very fun or interesting to meet all the people. If you know some people, you can just go right up and talk to them. But this is an important thing to get in front of our legislators.
Kim, thank you so much. I really appreciate that feedback and glad to have you on the call. Looking forward to meeting you. Katie.
Good morning. I'm Katie Sievert, Executive Director with the Head Start Association. And I participated in the Children's Day at the Capitol last year just by coming down and saying hi to everyone. We just recently, I think March was the first month we started working with the Head Start Association. So I wasn't around for the last day at the Capitol, but am up at the Capitol every day during the legislative session.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Katie. Appreciate it. Janessa, we'll move to you.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. This will be my third year going to the Day at the Capitol. I got roped in a couple of years ago, and I was terrified at the beginning, but I had a good group of gals like Jess and Kayla and Kelsey and well, not just gals, but Malcolm was there too. And Marcy, I remember being there, and Ellen, and it was just a really great experience getting to kind of rub elbows with the legislators and get to know them, get to answer some of their questions and let them know that we're not trying to really push an agenda. We are trying to support all early learners. And we had a great time. And then last year was a little more sparse, but I did get to meet Katie and Jasper when I was there. And I was thankful that Carrie Sanderson kind of knew everybody. And so she introduced me to people as they came through. And, I think it's a very, very fantastic cause to support early learning. And like Kim said, it's a very worthwhile cause to be there showing our legislators that early learning matters in our state. And by the way, if you guys don't know, I'm the president of South Dakota AUIC right now, but I've been in early learning officially since 1997. So most of my adult life.
Thank you, Janessa. Appreciate you being here today. Sue, and it looks like there's two of you. Go ahead and you guys can introduce yourselves.
Okay, so I'm Sue Gloat. I'm the director at Hawaii Child Development Center, which is a Head Start that covers 5 counties in the middle of South Dakota. One of them, of course, is located right here in Pierce. So that's I've been a part of Children's Day at the Capitol the last probably at least 12 years. And so with me is Peggy. I can let you introduce yourself and tell how I've been with. My background is in education. I was a teacher, elementary principal, and then an administrator. So since I got out of college, 30-some plus years ago, I don't know how long, but it's all been about early education.
Peggy Eckert. I'm a teacher assistant here at Milwaukee Child Development Center for the last 3 years.
And she is our staff rep on South Dakota Head Start Association. And so that's kind of how she's involved with this year's Day at the Capitol.
Well, very good. I mean, so this will be old news to you guys, but hopefully we can bring something new to the table for you. We appreciate you having here and your long-term support of the Day at the Capitol. So thank you. We're going to go to Tamara. If you're there, Tamara. Perfect.
Hi. Oh, I think I have it.
Yep, you're good.
Hi. So apologize, I'm in my car. I actually just picked up my kiddos. But I have been in childcare for about 13 years. I recently moved back to South Dakota. I own a childcare center in Wall, and I'm looking forward to getting more involved with SDAYC and all that South Dakota has to offer in the childcare and early childhood education realm.
And thanks so much, Tamara. First got to meet Tamara back in October, and she's been with us ever since. It's been fantastic. Thanks for being here today. We're going to go to Kimmy.
Hello. Am I on?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. I'm sorry, my baby's here with me today.
Oh, you're good.
I am Camila Conte. I'm a Policy Council board member here in Pierre. I have never been to Early Learning Day. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to be a part of it and to learn a few things myself. So glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. And Kimmy, if anyone ever understood having a baby in a meeting, it's this group of people. So you are just fine. And this is a little bit selfish for me because I will be trying to meet most of you at the Capitol. So getting to know your faces will help me do that. So thank you for coming on camera when you talk. I appreciate it. Marcy Drew, go ahead.
I'm also in my car, Tamara. Hi. We do
as long
this
as you're
work.
not driving and everyone's safe, then I'm good.
Just sitting, not driving. So I'm Marcy Drew. I'm currently at South Dakota Public Broadcasting, and I have done Children's Day at the Capitol a couple of years ago and tried a few times and was not able to make it because of weather. So, you know, fingers crossed, January in South Dakota. And then attended a few times back many years ago when the first kind of time when they were doing these Children's Days were happening as well. So it's good to see things ramping up again for our presence there.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcy. Appreciate you having you here today. Darby Hunt.
Hello, can't find my buttons. Okay, I'm Darby Hunt, and I actually will not be there. I will be out of state, but I am interested to hear what is shared on this call, as I am a member of Early Learner South Dakota.
Thanks, Darby. Appreciate it. Jess Gromer.
Hi, I'm still experiencing internet issues for those of you who had calls with me yesterday. So I think I'm good today. I'm Jess Gromer, Program Officer with the John Vukorovich Foundation in Rapid City, and also on the leadership team for Early Learner Rapid City, as well as Early Learner South Dakota. And my training is actually as a registered nurse, and prior to my role here, I was in the maternal child field for my entire career, and I got to work with babies every day, and it was so fun. And so I also have a passion and understanding that early learning isn't just preschool, it starts even before birth. And so very passionate about that. That's a lot of my time spent in my current role, and understanding and having been in the field and being able to be in a position where I can take some leadership roles to help look at policy has been a great shift in my career. And thank you everyone for being on this call and being willing to go to Children's Day at the Capitol. I think I started out saying I will not be going. I ended up having something scheduled about a year ago on that same day. So I'm on just because I think it's good to constantly have myself hear the common language that we all should be using when we're speaking to legislators, because if we can come with a unified language and unified front and the same data sets and the same numbers, then it truly does show that there's a movement and an effort to support early learning, and we're not just working in silos. So thank you everyone for being here.
Yes, well said, Jess. Appreciate it. Carrie Thrall.
Hi, everybody. I am very excited to be part of this call today so I can learn more about my first event with Children's Day at the Capitol, because I am very much interested in what Jess was saying, making sure that what I'm sharing matches what the movement is working towards, because I think what we're doing collectively in our state and frankly nationwide to change the face of education from our earliest learning on is vital. And if we can do it together, then our momentum will take us there faster. So this is super exciting to be here. I'm part of the SGA team and the Lead Deadwood Early Learner team and the ELSD team. So I'm really excited. I have all those hats on, if you can imagine them. I'm a creative person. I do community creative collaborations all over South Dakota, mostly in the Black Hills and Central South Dakota. So I'm going to bring that lens to the arena as well. And I have experience in education, like through my family and my own, basically since I was a kid myself, I guess. But early learning is newer for me. I transitioned into Director of Education at Northern Hills Alliance for Children after teaching art and second grade, kindergarten, and first grade. And so I'm really, thank you all.
Thank you so much for being here, Carrie. Appreciate it. And last but not least, Arlene.
There I am. Good afternoon from Pierre. I'm Arlene Consulate. I'm with the South Dakota Council on Developmental Disabilities, and I do plan to attend Children's Day at the Capitol, so I will be there. I want to make sure I get that message right. So.
Thank you so much, Arlene. Well, I appreciate you guys doing these introductions with me today, as I did believe it was very important, and just so that way you guys get to know some of your peers who will be joining us at the Capitol. So I was going to have everyone take a poll, and I want to apologize to my wonderful Lucy, who with Mile Up Marketing, who put the poll together for me, but I don't think I'm going to do that now, since the ones of you who are not coming have mentioned that in your kind of introductory speeches. But what I am going to ask that you do is, this will make sense later, but if you would all put your name, email address, and zip code, just so I know who, so I can research who your legislators are. There is a reason for this, but if you guys could all send that to me in the chat, or if you don't want to send it to the whole group, you can send it directly to Lucy, or Mile Up Marketing is where she's under. Thank you, Mark. Saw yours come up already. Appreciate that. As you guys do that, I am going to move into our presentation for the day here. All right, so first and foremost here, the day at the Capitol is not January 10th. I'm so sorry. I did even send this out to people, but it is January 20th. So ignore that. It's January 20th from 10 to 2. I believe I have sent an agenda out to most of you. If not, you will be getting multiple follow-up documents from me for the day at the Capitol, which will include an agenda for the day talking about how things are going to be laid out during the day. But first and foremost, I do want to just make a brief note that we really do want to think of safety first. We want to keep all of your safety in mind. If you would please consider wearing a mask and trying to maintain social distancing as much as possible in the rotunda. We are going to have little bags for you all, and it will include an extra mask and some hand sanitizer for you. So you guys will all have that on hand. Okay, so I will send you more of a formal agenda, but I did want to just give you kind of a flow for the day. If any of you have a booth, if you have registered to have a booth, you will have done that through CPCM. So I am not your main point of contact. You should have been getting contact information from Susan, who is with USD and CPCM. But you will we're asking that you set those booths up anywhere between 9 and 10, just making sure that the booth is set up before 10. That would be wonderful. We're going to have the lunch and mingling with legislators will happen all throughout the period of 11 to 1. The one thing that didn't make it onto this agenda that was a recent addition is we are going to have a speaker at 12:45. That will be on the agenda. Excuse me, updated. Oh, sorry, Sue, did you have something you wanted to mention?
Oh, no, where am I at? Nope.
No? Okay. No worries. I just thought I'd see. I'm going to try to watch for people who come off mute, just in case if you do have a question, I want to make sure to answer it. And I'll kind of pause for questions through some of the slides here as well. So at 12:45, we believe that potentially, well, a representative from DSS, potentially Secretary Gill with DSS, will be giving a speech starting around 12:45. So ignore the 11:30. I just got that information yesterday. I apologize for that. And then we're going to be having that lunch, like I mentioned, kind of around that between 11 and noon time. That's when you guys are all going to get the most action at your booths, if you will. How many of you maybe raise your hand on your Zoom call if you are going to have a booth? I'm kind of just trying to get an idea of how many. Okay, I see Mark raised his hand. Okay, so for those of you who are not, oh, Nicole Weiss, yep,
I am, but I don't know how to raise my hand.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
No, you're good. As soon as you came off video, I could see you in person, so that was perfect. For those of you who are not going to have a booth, the reason I wanted your zip codes, and I'm going to send you these anyway, regardless of if you have a booth or not. I will be sending you guys talking points and email templates that you can, again, this is just, you can use these, you don't have to. Again, we have some veterans with us from Children's Day at the Capitol. Many of you know how to do this and how you want, like to see things run. And that's completely fine. This way, I just want to give it as an option to you all. So I'll send out some certain talking points. And one of the things that Early Learner South Dakota did is we put together a form that essentially breaks down where legislators stand with early learning. And we broke it down with red, yellow, and green. So red meaning they are completely not in support, yellow they're on the fence or we don't know, and green that we know that they're supportive of early learning. So we have created talking points based on those three categories, and we're really going to recommend you maybe not even try with the reds, but let's say, for example, if you're in a district with all reds, for example, that's still fine. I'm not saying, hey, be mean to them and ignore them and don't talk to them. I mean, just expect to get pushback. And so if you don't want to have those conversations, you shouldn't feel pressured to have the conversations. That's kind of where we're coming from with that. And if you want to go beyond your few elected officials or legislators who are in your district, you guys are welcome to give me that feedback as well. So what we're hoping is that some of you might want to sit down for a quick 5-10 minutes, set that meeting up prior to the 20th. That'll be what the email template has. So it'll say, hey, I'd love to meet with you for 5-10 minutes on the 20th when we're there between 10 and 1. Are you available for a time to meet, kind of thing. So if you could, so it'd be expecting that information from me. And then something for people who are not familiar with coming to the Capitol, what we'll do is around 2 p.m. that day, we'll be going to the House and Senate floors. I have this all written out in a document called Logistics and Other Questions, and it's all written out in there for you. I'm a kinesthetic learner, and I know that many of you are probably visual learners, so that's why we have both here today. What will happen is that if you want, you can be present. You'll sit up at the top part of both houses, at the House side and on the Senate, or both chambers, excuse me, House chamber and the Senate chamber, and we'll have a legislator announce us. We can stand up, be recognized, and then immediately after, we'll leave and go to the other chamber, and the same thing will happen. And then essentially our day will conclude. You'll be able to pick up your stuff from your booth, pack it all up and leave for the day. And the final thing you'll have an option to attend is that we're going to have a screening of starting at 0 or no small matter, depending on the screening potential here for starting at 0 at 4:30, starting at 4:30 at the Discovery Center. So I gave you guys a lot of information with the flow of the day, so I wanted to just pause real quick and see if anyone had any questions.
Kayla?
Yep.
You have the legislators picked out who you want to introduce the group?
Carrie with CPCM is taking care of that.
Okay, so that's
Yep.
already, okay, very good. Just thought I'd ask. And also for the group, I mentioned I was in the legislature. It's been, 4 years since I was there, but I still know a lot of these people. If any of you folks would like me to approach people in your district or go with you as you talk to them, I would be willing to do that. I know the 3 individuals in my district, so I won't have any problem talking to them. So I just thought I'd offer my service that way.
That's wonderful, Tom. Thank you for offering that. I hope that anyone on the call will take Tom up on that if you can here. You can send him a direct message, either that or Tom, if you want to. Did you put your email in the chat? I haven't been able to look at the chat yet.
I haven't yet, but I will right now.
Okay. Sue, I'm seeing some of your questions. I believe it's about an hour, and the screening, the film, both of them actually, starting at 0 and No Small Matter, are both approximately an hour and 15 minutes in time. Sue asked how long the run of time was with that. Let's see. Oh, I see, Janessa, you said about an hour long. Good, thank you.
Yeah, they do have, so it's about an hour long, but they do have an extended version that has some information with legislators talking from other states, that there's a secondary option. But we can talk about that later if you want to.
Yeah, maybe you and I can hang on this call right after. Tom just put his email in the chat for everyone. And Sue, thank you for asking. I actually I completed all of those documents. The only thing I was waiting on is I wanted to get official approval from our leadership committee on talking points. That document I am waiting on, but I do have an email template and the logistics sheet that I will send you all immediately following this meeting, along with a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint and the recording of this video will all be made available on the Early Learner South Dakota website. And maybe Lucy, if you wouldn't mind putting in the link into the chat that goes directly to the Public Policy Forum for people to get those links. You guys will see that there's several trainings with recordings and PowerPoints there if you are interested in the other ones as well. Let's see, Marcy mentioned if Tom doesn't mind, maybe his offer and contact information can be included with the document that goes out with instructions about reaching out to legislators. Tom, would you mind that?
I'm gonna have to talk to my agent about that. No, that would be fine. Anything to help the cause.
Wonderful, thank you. So I'll add that into the document before I send it out to everybody. Great suggestion, Marcy, thank you. That was perfect. So lots of questions in the chat. So if you guys don't mind, I'm trying to flow between them. Janessa or Lucy, if you guys see questions come in the chat, when I ask for questions, I'll just pause. Feel free to come off mute and just ask them to me. I don't want to miss anybody's. All right, moving on. So yes, what to expect, right? First of all, don't be nervous, just relax and enjoy your time. And even if you are very much that wallflower who does not really want to reach out, enjoy chatting with your peers and colleagues in early learning. You're going to have a lot of them there that day. And this way, with Tom's offer of going with you, you don't have to be worried. He'll come with you as your partner in crime and hopefully ease the tension a little bit more there. And then again, plan the meetings ahead, as I mentioned in the previous slide. I want to just take a second. Is there any more questions in the chat that came through?
No more questions. Lucy did get that PowerPoint link added. I'm not sure. I think you have it in the logistics, but one of the things that I know that was a little alarming to me at the beginning was you do go through security, which is pretty typical at a state building. It's no worse than going through an airport security. So you put your things on the little belt that goes through and they scan it and you walk through the door. And the guys that have been there, the ladies and gentlemen, have been wonderfully friendly every time I've been there. So, and if you have stuff for your booth, like we just pulled it in a wagon and they had us take it around, kind of like they do at the airport with wheelchair people. They take, or people in wheelchairs, they just have you take the wagon around and you should be good to go.
And yes, great point, Janessa. It is all written in the logistics, and there's probably way more information. There's even a virtual tour in the logistics for you guys to even kind of see it if you're more visual. But another thing, there is the north entrance of the Capitol is the only entrance that will be unlocked, and everyone will have to go through a security point. If you have a lot of stuff for a booth, there are a lot of like 15-minute parking spots right by the north entrance, because parking will be an absolute nightmare. I'm just warning you, you will have to walk. So if you do have a lot of things, use the 15-minute parking spots to unload your stuff. It'll really help if you have someone with you. If you don't, actually, I might just give everyone my cell phone number too. Janessa, would you mind throwing my cell phone number in the chat?
Sure.
Thank you so much. You guys are welcome to call, and if you need me to just bring stuff to your booth, because I'll have already been in through security, please just do that. I don't want anyone to feel like, hey, I'm going solo and I have no support. So feel free to contact me. And again, like I said, we will give you guys all a package of information. You're going to get a lot of information from me, like I said, today. And Marcy, actually, if you have the logistics that you can download and throw into the chat, we can just do it that way so people aren't waiting on me. The only thing it won't include, obviously, is Tom's contact information. Thanks, Marcy. I love having a group of amazing people to work with. It just makes life so much more wonderful. So a few things that you can expect, like I mentioned, of course, hand sanitizer and face masks, but also fun things like mints and chocolate, because, you know, who doesn't need that during a long day? We'll also give you, I'm working on getting a list, the list of legislators with pictures printed, but if not, on the logistics, I added a QR code that if you're like, what the heck is a QR code? How do I scan a QR code? You can download a QR app on your phone where it will scan the QR code and it'll bring you directly to a web page. So the QR code that I have there, it'll bring you directly to the link where it will say your legislator's name, give you their picture and their contact information. This was extremely helpful for me. Again, I'm also very visual, where I'm like, who am I looking for? I have no idea who this person is. And I was like constantly trying to Google their names. Well, it'll make that part of it that much easier for you. It'll also contain a map of the Capitol for you, a copy of the talking points. Again, hopefully you guys can look at these talking points and try to familiarize yourself with them a little bit. As I would highly encourage you, try not to read directly from any kind of script. But again, if you're extremely nervous and you need to refer to a document, that's okay. You know, legislators are gonna understand. Take the notes and the documents we give you and read from them if necessary. It's completely fine. And if you do want to just schedule a time with me prior to the 20th and say, okay, hey, what should I say if they say this? Or what should I say if this happens? Please do that. You can email me or call me on my cell that was put in the chat. And I'm happy to go over that with you. And I want to make this as much of a comfortable and welcoming experience for you guys as possible. You're our advocates. We need to take care of you because without you, this whole thing really doesn't work. So we just appreciate you being there. We'll also give you a one-pager, and then of course, bring your own leave behind. You know, you're all coming representing an organization and things like that. Make sure you can bring something of your own. Maybe it's a brochure. Maybe it's a simple business card, that type of thing. But before I say before I go too much further, I want to be very, very, very clear on the difference between an advocate and a lobbyist, because that line is very, very thin, and you can't, and a lot of people tend to cross it unintentionally. So if you are coming and you are coming just as an advocate, completely fine, but you have to talk in general. You cannot talk on behalf of a bill or directly on behalf of an organization without being a registered lobbyist. You actually have the opportunity to become a registered lobbyist that day. The Sergeant of Arms in the Capitol can actually set it up for you right then and there. It's a very easy process. The badge, the lobbyist badge, does cost a fee though. So you can provide information and things like that, but you cannot say you need to do XYZ or you need to support this bill. That is a lobbyist. Advocates can just say, you know, these are the benefits of early learning. You're talking in general terms, or getting to know them, or answering questions that they might ask you. Again, think general, not specifics like a bill or that type of thing. A lot of people get kind of mixed up with that one. So I want to pause and make sure I saw a couple of questions in the chat. Is there anything specific, Janessa? Oh, I see. Marcy put in the logistics.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah,
okay. That was it.
Does anyone want to come off mute and ask any questions about that? Anyone feel uncomfortable with that or having the lines be a bit blurry there? Okay, wonderful. That's funny. I just jumped ahead to the slide. So I covered this already, so I apologize. But even if you're uncomfortable or talking to your legislator, again, Tom gave a great option. But if you can just simply invite them. The email template I will give you will include a simple invitation. And at the very end, it talks about you wanting a couple additional individual minutes with them. Simply just take it out. If you're not comfortable with it, that's fine. Take that piece out and then just give them a simple invitation to come and grab a bite to eat. Maybe hear the speaker at 12:45. And just get to mingle with the rest of your colleagues down in the rotunda. So don't feel too much pressure there. You can also look to try to set up meetings with anyone in any of the departments if you're interested while you're there, like DSS or DOE. That is an option. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, again, feel free to contact me and we can talk through that as well. All right, so again, I kept this very simple because I wanted to make it as easy and as welcoming and inviting as possible. So I'm just going to kind of open this up. I do have my contact information here. I also put Carrie's information if any of you want to jot that down. Or Carrie, feel free to enter your early learner email in the chat as well. Janessa, did you have something?
Kayla?
Yep.
Is the organization going to alert the legislators that we're coming? Or is there going to be something, for example, on their desks in each of the chambers announcing our presence?
Yep, they will be sent invitations from CPCM and ELSD prior to that day. And we will be setting some like just quick information on their desks with a simple invite as well the morning of.
Okay,
yep.
You might even, that's very good. You might even tell the two legislators who are going to announce you on the floor, announce us on the floor, they can stand up in their caucus because these folks caucus from 12 noon to 1, and or excuse me, 1 to 2, and
yep.
just have them stand up in their caucus and remind them to come down and visit us if they can. That might be a little late, but still
Sure.
might be worth something.
Yeah, no, great, great suggestion. I appreciate that. I might open up our logistics document here just to see if there's anything anyone has any specific questions on. I did see a question from Kim in the chat. If there are any specific bills right now, there are not, although I will say that we as Early Learners South Dakota are working on 2. I don't know if I want to say what they are officially as of yet, but you will all be added as you will all be added to our advocates email list now. And so as soon as we do kind of officially have a go ahead, we just don't want the information to get out ahead of us. And have people working against us essentially before we're able to even get out the gate with a bill. So that's why we're kind of not announcing it yet, but look for potentially 2. And if by the 20th we have more information, I'll make sure to give that to you on the day of the 20th. But again, remember that you can't talk to directly about a bill unless you're a registered lobbyist. All right. I am going to take a minute. I will pull up this logistics document just to see if there's anything else you might have. But again, I really do encourage you guys just to call or email me if you have any other questions. So this is kind of, as I mentioned, these are all the things I didn't want to try to bore you with today. But there is more information about what to expect when you visit the Capitol. So this document was made directly from the Capitol. This is the link to the Google Doc that Marcy put in the chat. So hopefully it works. And if it doesn't, I'm going to just add Tom's information and I'm going to send it out right after this call. We talk making sure you have a valid driver's license. I talk about parking. Here's the map of the complex to show you where you can park. You also you'll see when you get to the Capitol that there are parking spots all along the street, kind of like surrounding the Capitol. You are more than welcome to use those parking spots as well. So that's not a problem at all. I will have someone designated at 9:45 be there if you don't have a booth. If you don't have a booth and you're just coming to join us, I will have someone by the north door at 9:45 in an early, like a lime green early learner shirt. And they'll be there to bring you in. If you come later than that though, you'll have to just rely on these directions and get into the rotunda yourself from there. But you can see that even once you're in the Capitol, we talk about all of that. There's more vendor information. So if you have a booth, this is what you'd want to refer to. The QR code with your legislators is here, talking about how we will be going into into both chambers. Oh, and the group photos 12:45. So I apologize. The speaker is going to be at 12:15 or 12:30. It's all on my new agenda. I'm sorry, that all changed yesterday. My apologies there. But we will take a group photo at 12:45. The governor is going to be formally asked to join, whether she does or not. You know, that's always up in the air. And then the session will be going to at 1 p.m. in both chambers. So I apologize with that agenda. It was a little bit wonky, but it's all fixed in the more finalized version I'll be sending to you guys again right after this. All right. Any other questions? Just remember, there are, it looks like a few of you may not have shared your zip codes. And if you don't want me to give you any of that information, that's fine. But again, if you do want some additional information about your legislators, please share that information with me directly in the chat. That would be wonderful. Any other questions? Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm going to wrap this session up then today. I am going to stay on for a bit just to make sure I have everyone's zip codes and information to email to you. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing and the fact that you guys are taking the time to show up in person. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm so happy to have you join us and look forward to meeting you all in person. We'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day.